Hey guys, Evans was Ed111 here today, bringing you another EVlog, and this one is going to be about books. But first of all, before I get into it, I'll say this one will probably be shorter, because if you can't tell, I am feeling pretty damn ill. For the last 3 days, I've had an incredibly bad migraine, and I get headaches a lot, but this is just on a whole different level. This is absolutely, it's been terrible. I get it when I sleep, I get it when I wake up, and I have it all throughout the day. And with it has come fevers. I've been at like 38 degrees just on and off randomly, and I've been sweating loads today, so it's been horrible. I've been feeling really ill, and normally I wouldn't record if I'm feeling ill, but with the EVlogs I haven't missed a Monday, and I don't want to miss a Monday. In fact, I've missed one, but that's bad enough. I want to try and be consistent with these. So that out the way now. Books, I haven't actually... I don't read books anymore, so I don't mean that in a way that this is going to be a shit vlog. I do have stuff to say about books, but it's from the past, because before I got into gaming, and before I became big on watching films, and before I developed loads of other hobbies, before I even got into music and things like skating, I used to read books. I used to read them loads. It used to be where I put my time, where I put my free time. And books, I think, are great, because if you think about the best kind of films, they are the films that engage you and make you think and make you work things out, and that you actively have to use your mind if you want to work out what's going on in the film, because they have some kind of underlying story or something. Now, with books, you have to constantly use your brain for every page, because you see the words on the page, and if you want to visualise those, you have to use your brain to create the imagery in your head that the author is trying to convey. And with films, a lot of time you can just look at the screen, and you can, like, so many times, like say you watch a scene of a film, and it goes on to the next scene, and someone says, "What just happened?" And a lot of people can say, "I don't know." Or they can say, "What was that character just wearing?" And I'll say, "Oh, I don't know." Because you're not actually paying attention, you're not actively watching the film, you're just looking at it. And with books, you can't do that. You read a word, you take the information in, and then that information is processed in your brain. With films, you don't get that, at least not on every scene. So I think books do something that films can't, and books will always be fantastic as a result, and I think they'll always be able to do something that films can't, which is constantly keep the consumer engaged. But I just wanted to get that out of the way before going on to the specifics, because as far as favourite films, favourite books and stuff go, rather I should say, I have a favourite book, which would be The Dream Merchant. The Dream Merchant isn't a big book, so I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't heard of it. It's not like, it's not mainstream, I guess, so it's not by a big author or anything. But The Dream Merchant is quite a big-ish book, I would say. And it's about a company that they recruit people into the company, and then these people go into dreams, and then from the dreams they can retrieve certain things, which is then sold by this company in the real world. So it's a cool concept, it's a cool original thing that it's not exactly cliche or anything, and it's done really, really well, and the world that's created within this book is fantastic. So they have really good characters, they have a really good story, they have a really good world, and as a just single book, like it's not part of a trilogy or anything, it's great. On its own, it's a great single one-off read, which I like, and it's always been one of my favourite books. But I would say this tops it. My favourite series, which is actually a series of 10 books, and it is the Lord Lost series by Darren Shan. Now this has always been fantastic. The world they built up in the Lord Lost series is incredible. In a nutshell, it's about, it starts off with very real-world circumstances, but then it turns out there are demons, that demons are part of this world, and that fantasy and magic is part of this world, and it's all been there the entire time, just people haven't realised, and there are wizards, but they're very much real people who you and I can know every day. But it's great because in the first book, Lord Lost, it introduces Grubbs Grady, who's the first main character, and in the second book, Demon Thief, it introduces Colonel, and then the third book is Grubbs and Colonel, I believe they're both in that one. And then in the fourth one, it introduces Beck, who's the third main character. So it has 3 main characters going on, but at least towards the beginning of the books, they never directly interact with each other. They sometimes interact with characters that the other people know, or they cross paths like indirectly. But towards the end of it, they come together, and I won't spoil it because honestly, if I recommended anything, it would be the Lord Lost series. But the world that's built up and the plot and everything, it is fantastic. There is so much going on in this series, and the way it's written is really engaging. Like, it's one of those books where you say, okay, one more chapter or one more page, and it constantly goes on. You don't want to stop reading. And the amount of foreshadowing there is too, like, in the third book, Slaughter, something happens, and it's a really subtle thing, you wouldn't think twice about it, but suddenly, after reading, I think it's the 8th book, a betrayal of some kind happens, and then you realise why the little, really subtle action that happens in the third book happens. It's because that character was actually not on their side. So that's being really vague about it, intentionally not trying to spoil, but me not trying to spoil something means it's good, because I think you should experience it for yourselves. But the Lord Lost series is honestly fantastic. I heartily do recommend that, and if you have read it, let me know. Same goes for The Dream Merchant, but it's less likely with that as it's a less known book. Because Darren Chan is a pretty big author now. He had his other series, I think it's Circa de Freak, which was made into a film and stuff, and that's pretty popular. It's more popular than the Lord Lost series. But yeah, let me know if you've read these books. I'm looking forward to finding out your opinion, see what you thought of that if you have read it. But yeah, I said I was going to keep this one short, and it's been going on for like 7 minutes now. So I'll end this here. Let me know what you thought of this vlog. Sorry for being ill, if the quality's been a bit then that is why. But until next time, it's me, Evans with Z11, and this is me out. Peace.